Morning, good morning, good morning. As I like to say, great day, great day, great day. It is a great day in the universe, folks. And thank you all so much for being with us here this morning on WMPR 90.1 FM on your radio dial with the Right Stuff Helps program. Right Stuff Helps. That's right. We always talk to you about the right stuff simply because we've spent most of our lives eating the wrong stuff, drinking the wrong stuff, looking at and listening to the wrong stuff, talking to the wrong people. Okay. Basically, we just spend most of our lives doing what? The wrong stuff. So I say, isn't it about time that you got your hands on the right stuff? Absolutely. That's why we have this broadcast. We have been broadcasting, we've been talking about the right stuff for in excess of 40 years, folks, 40 years. And we've been on radio and TV all over the country, here in Memphis, since back in the 80s. Actually, it's been more like 44, 45 years. WDIA and WLOK, we've been parts of those radio stations from way back in the day. And so this is no new thing. The Bible says there's no new thing under the sun. What has been shall be required. So now it's just coming back. So we're coming to you with the Right Stuff Help this morning. And we're going to talk to you a little bit this morning about something that we spoke on about a week or so ago on a worldwide broadcast. And it was simply the bulletproof vest against heart disease. Bulletproof vest against heart disease. You see, heart disease is a bad boy. I know that COVID has come into the ranks and jumped in the ring and knocking folks out the ring. But heart disease was knocking them out the ring before COVID got in. You're listening to what I'm saying. These non-communicable diseases like heart attacks and strokes and aneurysms, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, these kinds of things have been around and been taking people out all the time and still are, still will. COVID's not the number one. Heart disease is still number one in the hitman's list that's going against your health. That's right. And the secret weapon that that heart attack uses, okay, as a hitman, their secret weapon is basically cholesterol. It's basically animal products. And we're not going to beat down on that so much, but we're going to talk a little bit about some proven research as it relates to heart. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn. I've worked with and followed him for in excess of 30 years or so, 30, 35, maybe close to 40 years. But he has a bestseller that's called To Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. What did I say? Prevent and reverse heart disease. That's interesting, very interesting, especially because when you look at the fact that the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, number one health organization in the world, the Heart Foundation itself, Heart Society, all of them have agreed that if you were to eat a certain food, you could actually get heart disease completely under control. Are y'all listening to me? They themselves say that 9 out of 10 heart attacks are preventable. I don't know if you heard what I said. I'm going to say it again. The leading health authorities dealing with cardiovascular situations, dealing with your heart and your blood flow, have said that if you would eat a plant-based diet, that the instances of high blood pressure, heart disease, aneurysm, stroke would disappear. Wow, that's deep. When the societies themselves tell you how to get well. So why are we still having so many heart attacks? In his documentary, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, it was called Forks Over Knives. He was in that documentary, and he spent over 20 years in a nutritional study that rocked the medical world because they could no longer make us think that medicine was the only solution. He proved without a shadow of a doubt that a change in lifestyle would literally help the body to heal itself. Wow. You see, we have in the United States over 1 million, 1 million heart attacks yearly. That's one every 30 seconds. Are you listening to me? 2,880 unnecessary deaths every week. That's almost 3,000 deaths a week. That's a lot of unnecessary funerals, people. I hope you all are listening to what I'm saying. And the question became, and it still is, could we change the heart disease epidemic with diet? Oh, I'm going to ask that question again. The question is, could we change the heart disease epidemic, especially in the United States, but even in the world, with diet? Remember, I talked to you about that secret weapon of the top health hitmen, and those health hitmen were heart problems, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, osteoporosis, things like that. And all of them used the same weapon. The weapon was cholesterol. That's right. And so, what does that mean? Bad eating. Bad eating is how we get into this situation of heart attacks, aneurysms, and strokes. So, what is the bulletproof vest against heart disease? It is to change your lifestyle, change your diet. Okay. Put on the bulletproof vest, which is the plant-based diet or the Bible way diet. I say Bible way simply because we've talked to you constantly about the Bible way. And I'm looking for my book, The Bible Way, here. Oh, I've got it here right in front of me. I've just kind of covered it up. But this is our manuscript. If you can see it there, it's called The Bible Way. And I've talked to you about that on several occasions because it never gets old. Bibleway, Bible Way. The B is best food and combinations. What is the best food and combinations? Fruit, nuts, grains, and then vegetables. Why? Because that's the first food that God gave man back in the beginning when he created him. So it was the first diet. Therefore, if God gave it to man, it was the best diet. And now we're seeing the need to go back to the Bible way to health, eating the right nutritious foods, getting enough clean water, fresh air, exercise, rest, and sleep, getting sunshine. All of those are important. Exercise is all important. The best exercise, of course, was what? Good brisk walking. So the Bible way is a decided change in your lives. We're just going to deal with the premise of eating better right now, but eating is so very, very important. Okay, let's just supposing. I used to start a lot of my talks with just supposing. We're just going to suppose for a moment that you had graduated with honors in your class, and you now had a degree to go out and as a specialist, a cardiologist. You can actually be a heart doctor, okay? And so you decided that you were going to start your practice, and you were going to do your cardiology medicine, say, in Okinawa, Japan, all right? Or maybe in Central Africa or rural China. How about the Hunzan Mountains or the Papua Highlands in New Guinea, or even the Tarahumara Indians in North Mexico? You were going to go and set up shop in those areas. Guess what? You would be crazy. Why am I saying that? You would become the laughing stock of the medical world. Why? Because in those countries, heart disease is virtually non-existent. Do you realize that millions, literally billions of people in this world never heard of heart disease? Y'all didn't hear what I said. Never heard of heart disease. Yet in America, it is absolutely taking the lives of so many men and women, even children, and at the same time putting America in debtor's prison. What am I saying? The gout and all this stuff is taking people out and is putting America in debt. All the presidents and all the politicians that run for office, the first thing they talk about is what? Health, the health deal. Everybody's in the health. They want the Obama plan, your mama playing, somebody's playing, right? And why is that? Because health is the issue. That's where the millions and billions and trillions of dollars are being made with the pharmaceutical industry. But because so many people are sick, after all these millions and billions of dollars searching for the cure, there are more people sick now than there were 20 years ago, than it was 10 years ago, than it was 5 years ago. But we still keep hearing about the cure. Well, why not put on a bulletproof vest, folks? There's a bulletproof vest that you could be putting on to stop this. Let's look at something. The medical world said that this study that Dr. Esselstyn did was too small. He didn't do it. He didn't have enough people. It might have been 50, 60, 75 people. They said it was too small. So then he did something else. He went on a larger research program, over 200 patients with significant cardiovascular illness. So all of these 200 had already had serious heart problems, high blood, diabetes, stroke or two, aneurysm. It already had serious cardiovascular illness, okay? And let me tell you that 89.3 to 90% of these 200 stayed with the program through its entirety. They adhered to a plant-based diet for between 3.75 to almost 4 years. For 4 years, 90% of these people adhered to a plant-based diet. Are you listening to me? All right. And they already had heart problems, but they stayed with this diet. Listen to this number: 99.4%, almost all of those that adhered to the diet avoided any further cardiac events. In other words, they didn't have any more high blood pressure problems. They didn't have a stroke. They didn't have a heart attack. They didn't have a scare where it feels like you're falling out and dying and your heart's going to explode, running out of breath, can't breathe, congestive heart failure. They didn't have any of that. No heart attacks, no strokes. Why? Because they put on a bulletproof vest. Are you listening to me? The bulletproof vest is just a change in diet and lifestyle. You see, they ate their way into this situation. So what they did was they began to do what? Eat their way back out. Are you listening to what I'm saying, folks? Bulletproof vest. But now let's look at the other group, of the non-compliant group, of the group that did not stick to the plant-based diet. Over 62% of them, almost 70%, had further cardiac events. Many of them died. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I'm simply saying that you can put on a bulletproof vest as it relates to heart disease. And as the disease itself tries to shoot those bullets at you, all those heart attacks and stuff, well, as it tries to shoot them at you, you can not be affected by them because you are wearing a bulletproof vest. Again, the WHO, the World Health Organization, the Heart Foundation says that 1 out of 10 heart attacks are preventable. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Folks, if you've just joined, my name is Dr. Franco Taylor. You're here with me on WMPR 90.1 FM on your radio dial, broadcasting out of Jackson, Mississippi. And we're bringing to you the Right Stuff Helps program, because the right stuff helps. And we're talking about now putting on a bulletproof vest to knock out the #1 health hitman in the world. That's heart attack. That's heart disease. That's blood pressure problems. That's aneurysm. That's stroke, gout. How do we knock all this out? By putting on the bulletproof vest. And what is the bulletproof vest? It's simply a change in your diet and in your lifestyle. If I can remember, I'm going to give you a scripture on the way out the door today, and it's going to be Romans 12:1 and 2. You just got to make some changes. In order for things to get better, you've got to get better. In order for things to change, you've got to change. And it starts with a change of mind. You got to get a new mindset. Got to get a paradigm shift. You got to see things differently, if you hear what I'm saying. Now, you can call us at, you call me, Dr. Franco Taylor. We're at Right Stuff Health and Wellness Center in Memphis, Tennessee. You can call 901-425-2273. That's 901-425-2273. And you get myself or you get my assistant, and we can set you up for an appointment to do a telephone or an in-person consultation. We had an individual drive up from down in Mississippi, down your way last week. We had a wonderful time. They got started on their program, went back down near Jackson to do what it's taking to start feeling better and to actually get your own health under control. That's what we do. 901-425-2273. Or you can reach us at www.rightstuffhealth.com. Rightstuffhealth.com. We've got wonderful things. Got lots of videos and content, and we're putting more content on every day. Just gonna fill that site up with all kinds of good stuff, videos and so forth, that'll help you to live a higher quality of life. Or you can reach us at info, info, short for information, info at rightstuffhealth.com, info at rightstuffhealth.com. Get in touch with us, all right? Get in touch with us and tell somebody else about this radio program. Tell them that they can put on a bulletproof vest against heart disease, the #1 killer out there, especially in the South, especially in the poor areas, especially in the Black community. Are you listening to what I'm saying? We can put on a bulletproof vest. No more heart attacks, no more aneurysm, no more stroke, no more high blood pressure. You can actually reverse it yourself. Why am I saying that? Because God said, if you keep my commandments and my statutes, I put no diseases on you. So he said that, and that means heart attack too. The WHO, World Health Organization, says that. The Heart Society, Heart Foundation say that the disease will go away, and that 9 out of 10 heart attacks are preventable if you just change your diet and your lifestyle. What I want to do now, we're talking about that bulletproof vest. I just want to go back. I hope y'all are listening. I want to go back to a basic covenant of trust, okay, that existed between caregiver and patient for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And you listen to what I'm saying? There's a trust between the caregiver and the patient or the client, and it's always existed. We know that, of course, God said, I'll be with you always, even until the end, okay? So he was always there for us, always reaching out with open arms for us. We know that. But let's go back a couple of hundred years. Let's go back to the day of Hippocrates. Hippocrates was the so-called father of medicine. And he practiced something. And as a matter of fact, all doctors today have to take what is called the Hippocratic oath. Okay, that was a slip of the tongue. Okay, a Hippocratic oath, because he was the so-called father of medicine. That's Hippocrates. And Hippocrates said something. He said first in his dialogue with his students that first do no harm. I hope y'all heard that. This is Hippocrates. He said first do no harm. In other words, you never do anything with your client or your patient that's going to harm them. Wow. That's strange, because today all of the doctors have to take the Hippocratic oath, okay? And so what happened? Well, wouldn't you know it? Somebody went in and changed the oath. It no longer says do no harm. They took that out. So now they can harm, because we know everyone with any kind of sense, just common sense. You may not have ever been to school, but God imparts into your brain common sense that tells you that a drug that's advertised on TV that tells you it's going to help you have a happy sex life, and then it goes on for 3 minutes telling you all the things that it's going to do against your body. It's going to cause you to have night sweats. It's going to cause you to be nauseated, have tremors in your body, maybe even have a heart attack, stroke, and die. Are you listening to me? Go into comas. Folks, I don't know if you hear what I'm saying. Everybody knows then, therefore, that herb, not that herb, but that drug that's supposed to heal me is actually killing me. It's not healing, it's killing. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Who in their right mind would want to do that? That's like Jesus Christ coming down to the earth, walking up to you and giving you a big hug and a kiss on the cheek. Then he steps back and hits you in the jaw and knocks you out. So he gives you something good with something bad right behind it. You wouldn't expect that. So why would you expect that from something that's supposed to be healing you? Could it be that we've missed it? Could it be that we are doing harm, that our doctors and our medical facilities are doing harm? Whether they know that that's not supposed to be done or not is not the issue. The fact is that Hippocrates said, first, do no harm. But there's a lot of harm being done right now with all these drugs, all these unnecessary operations and so forth. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I'm just giving you facts. I'm not making up anything. That was first. And then the second thing that Hippocrates said, the father of medicine, so called, he said, food should be your medicine and medicine should be your food. Wow. He didn't say drugs would be your medicine. Wow. He didn't say food is just something you eat. He said that food would be your medicine and medicine should be your food. Two premises that he made. First, do no harm. And secondly, your food is your healing. Wow. Isn't that heavy? That is so deep, folks. I'm going to drink us a little water here. It has Velage in it, believe it or not. But the bottom line is that first, do no harm. And secondly, food should be your medicine. Medicine should be your food. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Bible for just a second, and I'm going to go to Ezekiel 47:12. I already said that in Exodus 15:26. Let's go there first. Exodus 15:26. We're talking about uh, the trust between the caregiver and the patient or the client. When God created man, he told him in Exodus 15:26, if you will diligently hearken unto my word and keep all of my commandments and statutes, I'll put none of the diseases upon you that I've placed upon the Egyptians. Listen to me, people. Stay with me. Stay with me. What is he saying? He's saying, not only did I give you the 10 commandments, but I gave you hundreds and hundreds of commands on how to live. And another point, we'll talk about taxes and income and being in business for yourself. That's something that one of the commands he gave us. But the command that we're talking about here is he gave us the food to eat in the beginning. And in Ezekiel, in the beginning, he told us to eat fruit, nuts, and then and grains. And then after sin, he added vegetables to the diet. But then we go to Exodus. I'm sorry. Make sure I'm telling you right. Exodus 15:26. No, we're going to go to Ezekiel 47:12. Please write that down. Go look at it. And what it is that God gave Ezekiel, the prophet Ezekiel, he gave him a vision of the earth made new. That's when Christ comes back for his people, for those that believe, and I believe, okay? Not putting that on you, but just following the storyline. He said that in that day that there would be the tree of life, which basically represents Christ, okay, and that it would literally yield its fruit all 12 months of the year. And hold just one second, people. Excuse me, had a little inside work needed to be taken care of. But the bottom line is we're looking at why people get ill, why they get to the point where they just can't live like they're supposed to. And again, in the scriptures, we saw in Ezekiel 47:12 that God said that the tree would yield its fruit all 12 months of the year. And he said, then therefore, that the fruit of the tree would be your meat or food, and that the leaves thereof would be your medicine. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? So God said that I gave you the fruit, nuts, and grains in the beginning. It was supposed to keep you alive forever. Even after you sinned, I gave you that same food. I added vegetables to it, those green cruciferous vegetables that had the same molecular structure as your blood. I gave you a blood transfusion with the green vegetables. And those green vegetables literally started healing you up so that you could still live to be over 1,000 years. Methuselah lived to be 950 years. I'm sorry, 969. Noah was 950. Adam was 930. They were living to be 1,000 years prior to the destruction of the earth with the flood. And what were they eating? Fruit, nuts, grains, and vegetables. So God is saying he sent word through Hippocrates, okay, to tell me that food should be my medicine and medicine should be my food. But listen to this. He sent word to me. That was a couple of hundred years ago, but a couple of thousand years ago, he sent word to me by the prophet Ezekiel, letting me know that food would be my medicine, and that the food would be both. The food and the medicine were on the same tree, if you hear what I'm saying, thousands of years ago. So that's just proof that we're on the right track, that food could be your medicine. Then it was that thing about do no harm. Do no harm. Wow. There's a scripture that says that Christ, as he walked on this earth, it said that he, a bruised reed, would he not break, nor would he quench a smoking flax. What does that mean? You've got a bruised reed is simply a straw that has already been stepped on. It's broken. He says that he wouldn't step on it again. Well, that straw, that bruised reed, represents a person. You know, God talked in parables. So that bruised reed could be a person who's already hurting. God wouldn't hurt them further. For instance, a young lady gets pregnant and she's just 14, 15 years old, right? Now, she's scared to death. She has just brought doom upon herself, her thought patterns. She's thought about committing suicide, killing herself and the baby. And now she's got to go and tell her parents. And she goes to her parents and she says, she cries and bawls and tells them what has happened. Instead of them saying, okay, it has happened now. Let's see what we can do to make this work out. They start saying, I told you so. I told you you're no good. You're just like your dad. You get what I'm saying? She's already bruised. She's a bruised reed, and they step on her and break her in half even more. And then it goes on to say that he wouldn't quench a smoking flax. So what's a smoking flax? A smoking flax is that same reed or that same straw that has been burning. It was on fire. So now we're going to go from the straw to a person. Here's a person that's on fire. They're doing everything they need to do. And then somewhere along the way, they become depressed and they're not on fire anymore. There's just a little smoke coming up. Listen to what I'm saying. Just a little smoke. Well, then Christ would not come in and throw water on that little bit of smoke and quench it. In other words, a person who's already damaged, you shouldn't go in and damage them even further. You shouldn't cut them off completely. You shouldn't just kick them to the curb. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about doing no harm. Doing no harm. Just trying to give you an overall big picture of what doing harm does. And so when you're taking drugs that have side effects that will do you so much harm, that can't be of God. I'm saying that can't be of God. And I'm going to give you another quote since we do quotes. Those of you who have just joined, I'm Dr. Franco Taylor. You're here with me on WMPR 90.1 FM on your radio dial, broadcasting out of Jackson, Mississippi. And guess what? This is the Right Stuff Helps radio broadcast. We're talking about a doctor. We're talking about a gentleman back in the past. His name was Thomas A. Edison, Thomas Alva Edison. And he said, his quote was this, powerful. Listen to me, listen to me. The doctor of the future will give no medication, but will interest his patients or his clients in the care of the human frame. He will interest them in diet and in the cause and prevention of disease. I gotta say that again. Thomas Alva Edison, and I quote, said the doctor of the future will give no medication, but will interest his patients or clients in the care of the human frame first. He will interest them in a good diet, and thirdly, in the cause and prevention of disease. Ooh, isn't that heavy? That sounds almost like Dr. Franco, doesn't it? I've been telling people that for the last 41, almost 42 years. Sometimes I felt like I was beating my head up against the wall. People say, oh, no, but my doctor told me I need to take these 37 medicines every day, and some of them twice a day. Okay. Your doctor told, and he's got me on these medicines. I wish I could get off them. Is he at home with you pouring them down your throat. I'm not saying don't do what your doctor says, but stop putting it on him if you know you're having bad reactions and you're putting it on the doctor. This wouldn't be happening to me if the doctor didn't have me on the. Go talk to him. You're in charge. You're in control. Go talk to him and tell him this is hurting me. Let's make a change of plan. You can do that. You don't have to be afraid. You're the boss. You're paying his salary. You're his employer. He should listen to you just like your attorney listens to you. You tell your attorney pretty much what you want to do and what don't want to do. And finally, you may listen to him. But the key is you shouldn't have to go to a doctor any more than you go to an attorney. And you should have just as much control with your doctor as you do with your attorney. So what am I saying here? That you have to make a decided change. And Thomas Alva Edison said that the doctor of the future would do what Dr. Franco does. He would talk to you, ask you questions, show you how you got in that shape. Okay, then you can reverse it. You can reverse it. In other words, you, if you're a health practitioner or if you're a health coach, will teach individuals about that little known prevention to disease, that little known bulletproof vest. It's called a healthy plant-based lifestyle. It's called Nature Cure. It's called the Bible way to health. Are you listening to me? We're talking about plant-based food. We're talking about plant-based supplementation. All right. Why do I say that? Again, all the health foundations, the Cancer Society, Heart Foundation, diabetes, Alzheimer's, arthritis, rheumatoid, all of those have said that if we begin to eat that plant-based diet, all of those diseases would get better, they would reverse, and they would recover. Are you listening to me? They said that themselves. You all are just not listening. You all want to know how many drugs can I take to get rid of this thing as opposed to what you can do. You can put on a bulletproof vest starting today. Plant-based diet, and then the WHO says that you need plant-based supplementation. WHO is the World Health Organization, because the debt, the United States debt, the financial debt is huge. It used to be millions, billions, now it's trillions of dollars in debt, and a good part of that is the health debt, has to do with health care. Are you listening to me? They're to the point where they really can't help you anymore. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to throw in a little timeout right there for just a second, and I'm going to give you a little health tip. Here's a little remedy that you can use. Okay, you can simply use cayenne pepper. You can use cayenne pepper, red pepper, the pepper that we cook with. We've been blessed to watch heart attacks, strokes, aneurysms. We've watched situations where individuals are about to have seizures. We watched all of that cut off instantly by taking cayenne pepper. What did I say? Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is what is called a vasodilator. A vasodilator. Vaso is vascular, like cardiovascular. It has to do with the circulation in your veins, in your arteries, in your capillaries. Are you listening to me? Cayenne pepper literally will take low blood pressure and bring it up to a level. High blood pressure, bring it down to a level, because it causes that blood to circulate better. It thins it down to just the right consistency. If it's thick, it thins it down. If it's too thin, it balances it down to the right consistency so that it can flow through. It helps to eat away at the cholesterol that's caked around that artery. Instead of the artery being that big, the artery might be just that big. So it starts opening that artery back up. It soothes and heals the tissues. Why? Because it has a lot of vitamin A in it. That's why it's so red, and that's why it's so hot. It has vitamin C in it. Oh, are y'all listening to me? Highest content of vitamin C that you can get in that small per pound or per ounce or per milliliter, okay? You're talking about cayenne pepper. Actually stops heart attacks, strokes, regulates blood pressure. Are you getting this? And it can actually be used with individuals who have seizures. So that was just a little time out in there, okay? And a little added extra. And by the way, I cannot take credit for everything that happens and everything that I do. I just can't do it. I just can't. I'd like to, but I can't. I have a wife at home. Linda Marie Taylor, my wonderful, wonderful wife, who's behind me. You might not see her, but she's there. And she just sent the word to me, tell them about Cayenne Pepper. Are you listening to me? So I thought I'd give her kudos because she's always there with just the right thing. She won't say a whole lot, but what she says is so powerful. It's just unbelievable. So I'm listening. When she says it, I stop and I go there because she's so inspired that it's unbelievable. Just so inspired. So just thought I'd let you know that little tidbit. Cayenne pepper, for those of you suffering with high blood pressure, maybe had a heart attack or stroke, or they tell you you're borderline, begin to put cayenne pepper in your water. You can put a quarter to a half a teaspoon in all the water that you drink. Uh, in other words, if you're drinking a half a gallon or a gallon a day, put your quarter to a half a teaspoon in that water, shake it up, and all the water you drink will literally be that water. I don't have high blood pressure necessarily, but I'll put cayenne pepper in my water from time to time because prevention is better than cure. Are you listening to me? Prevention is better than cure. So again, we're talking about heart attack. We're talking about a bulletproof vest. We're talking about what you can do to literally get your high blood pressure, your heart problems under control. You can put on that bulletproof vest, which is a change in diet, plant-based diet, and plant-based supplements. That's what we have here at Right Stuff Health and Wellness Center. We have a product called Clean Sweep Colon Broom that can be used to go in and start doing what? Putting in plant-based fiber to clean out that colon, to nourish that colon, to heal that colon, get those bowels to move and get that filth out. Before you start any program, you first need to clean out. And that's what the Clean Sweep does. It's the first product that we designed almost 38 years ago. It's been around a long time. A couple of generations of people have used this product. And then you want to replace the garbage foods that you're eating that have no nutrition. You want to replace them with delicious and nutritious plant-based foods. That's right. You can still have Philly cheesesteak. You can have burgers. You can even have barbecue and hot tamales. They just won't be animal products in them. And they're absolutely delicious. I just was a part of the Vegan Fest, the second annual Vegan Fest here in Memphis, Tennessee, a couple of weekends ago. And let me tell you, there were so many venues there, these individuals who had vegan foods. It was unbelievable. From shrimp to oxtails. I mean, whatever you like, folks, it was there and it was delicious. So y'all listen to what I'm saying. It was oopsie doopsie good. So I'm saying to you, you can still have delicious and have nutritious. See, you ate your way into this mess. You need to eat your way out. You can lose weight. You can reduce your cholesterol. You can restore your energy, rebuild your immune system by simply doing what? Making a change in your diet and your lifestyle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those formulas. Okay. The inner seven that I talk to you about from time to time. Let's see, I should have one here. I'm sorry for having to move my screen a little bit there. But that's called inner seven. The inner seven are minerals. They come from 3.5 miles down. It's 321 meters down in the Okinawa Ocean Sea there. And they help with the loss of minerals because they pick up minerals. These minerals come from down where you have sea anemone, sea urchins, these sea plants, this moss, all of this algae loaded with chlorophyll, loaded with antioxidants. And so we're collecting our water from where all this mineral antioxidant content is. Some of these sea plants live to be over 200 years old. So they've evolved, they're strong, they're full of antioxidants, and we're taking in the minerals with those antioxidants with the nanotechnology. So that's what you're getting when you're taking our inner seven formula, which is all the minerals the body needs, especially magnesium, okay? It helps, and a lot of what's going on with us, we're losing minerals because of the stress and the toxicity of our lifestyle today. Well, it's reversed by the alkaline formula here. This formula literally, this biomineral complex helps the body to reach 7.5 on the pH scale. That's why it's called inner seven. because it helps to balance the body at that level. It's a biomineral complex that's so powerful, it's unbelievable. It helps to increase circulation and it helps with digestion. It therefore supports metabolism. You heard of metabolism? It increases energy. Are you listening to me? It contains 60 key minerals, nano-sized, so they can get into straight through the blood-brain barrier, straight through the cell walls at the microcellular level and begin to turn things around in your body. Okay, these are minerals that your body can use and can absorb immediately in over 300 different enzyme reactions that take place in the body every day. It helps to balance the pH levels and reduce the acid in the bloodstream. Inner 7 actually helps to stimulate total body detoxification. Are you listening to me? At the cellular level, it helps to cleanse the cells of the body. It also activates the body's fat burning mechanisms. All of our formulas do this. In other words, effectively resetting the metabolism to restore the effect of environmental stress and toxicity on our bodies and on our health. So again, there's one other thing that it does. It's very important. This mineral complex helps to balance hormone levels in males and females. It naturally increases vitality, libido. I hope y'all listen to what I'm saying, because we're talking about an increase in what? Blood flow, an increase in energy, an increase in vitality. That's the inner 7. And again, you can call us at 901-425-2273 and find out how you can get this powerful, powerful formula. Formula's been around for 51 years, researched and developed for over 40 years, been enhanced and brought up for the last 11 years. It's only been available in the United States for the last year and a half, because over there in all those countries, these formulas are given to the patients by the doctors. They're not sold. There's no multi-level marketing. The reason we do it here in America is because that's the way you get things done in America, through multi-level marketing. So each one teach one. Each distributor goes out and talks to people individually, and word of mouth is the best way of getting things done in our culture. Okay, so we're saying that you've got a powerful, powerful complex here that just works. It works. It works. So call me, Dr. Franco Taylor, 901-425-2273, and ask us about how you can get your hand on the inner 7. Let's talk a little bit about another formula. That formula is called Crenui. Crenui does something else for the body. It helps to burn up those natural fats in the body. It was developed to reduce the oxidation or the oxidative stress in the stomach. It increases circulation. All of the formulas do this, help the blood to flow on a microcellular level. The Bible says, Leviticus 17:11, that the life of the flesh is in the blood. It helps to increase energy. It helps to increase nerve power, helps to increase brain function, because you're getting blood flow immediately to the body, straight through to the blood-brain barrier, straight through to the cell walls at the microcellular level. So immediately you start feeling like you've been placed on a fibrillator. Okay, woo, kind of shocks the body into feeling better, having energy, getting blood flow. And it also does something else. It helps reduce the absorption of excess fats, these caramelized fats, sugars, and starches in the body. It burns them and turns them into immediate energy. So you feel it immediately. And it therefore lowers the sugar level, lowers the blood pressure level. It turns these fats, these sugars, into instant energy. It removes the cholesterol, the fat or the grease levels in the bloodstream. And so it basically reduces overall cell damage in the body. And you wake up in the morning, you had a good night's rest, your belly is going down, the fat's being burned away, not dumped into the bloodstream. Your sugar level's going down and your blood pressure is going down. Oh, folks, are y'all listening to what we're saying here? Powerful, powerful stuff. But those two formulas are very powerful formulas, and I'm going to talk to you about the overall situation with these formulas. But now I want to talk to you a little bit about one that's called Belage. The Belage is our flagship product. Okay, it was the first product developed by Sankey, and that's why we say to you folks, when you come to the right stuff, that's what you get. Again, I've been doing what I've been doing as a health evangelist for 41, almost 42 years. And I prayed each year, even though we were developing formulas. We developed over 12 powerful formulas. 8 were liquids. That simply meant they were 98% absorbable straight into the bloodstream. Great, great, great. But we didn't have the $1 million capability of doing the nanotechnology. And I pray that God would send a company along that would spend its millions and billions and that all of its scientific research on developing formulas that would help the body heal itself. A year and a half ago, God blessed me. My daughter, one of my daughters called me and said, Dad, finally found it. We've been through a lot, but I found the company that says what you say, that the body must heal itself. And it designed formulas to do just that. And this was the first one. This was the Sankey. And again, it's developed to do several things. It's a hydrating drink, first of all. It has over 14,000 billion nanoparticles with antioxidants to help with the body's production of more antioxidants, which helps with what? The increase in the power and the strength of the immune system. Are you listening to me? It increases brain power because it goes straight through the blood-brain barrier, instantly taking good things into the brain, nourishing and strengthening it. It reduces cell damage in the overall body. It increases liver function. That's the manufacturer in your body. It increases the function of your liver. It increases blood circulation, again, at the microcellular level. It causes the mitochondria, which is 70% of your cells of your body. They're your energy cells. Right now, your energy cells are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Ugh. You sleep all night and wake up, ugh, just feel like you've been drinking scotch all night long. Well, that's simply because the mitochondria are asleep. The Belage and the other 2 formulas, but especially the Belage, assist the mitochondria in beginning to beat, having the nourishment, having the strength, the motivation to beat again. This gives you energy, okay? It makes the blood flow like it's supposed to. It helps the body to burn fats and sugars. It slows down premature dying, okay, or premature aging, slows it down. So in actuality, you live longer. Are you listening to me? The Bible says, why should a man die before his time? So people are dying, but it wasn't because God wanted them necessarily to die. He allowed them to do what they wanted to do. And in most cases, they didn't wear the bulletproof vest. Are you listening to me? They jumped out into the ocean and they didn't have on a life vest. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's how you drown, folks. That's how you drown. So bottom line, we're talking about increasing your metabolism, the olive leaf that's in the Belage, and then some of the other formulas is homegrown. It's grown on our own farms, as is the cacao, the black bean, the green tea, the rosemary, all of these powerful formulas, these powerful herbs that have been proven to assist the body in healing itself, these antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-cancer, these powerful immune stimulants literally are grown on our own farms. Are you listening to me? They help to increase the immune function. We've got a tree that's over 2,500 years old, an olive tree. And we know olives are powerful. We know they've been around a long time because when the ark landed and Noah, the water began to subside, guess what? He saw this dove. And what did the dove have in his beak? He had an olive leaf. So these olive trees have been around forever, getting stronger and stronger and evolving. You've seen trees that are eaten up with rot and they fall. Then you see trees that are so strong, their trunks are so broad, they grow up so straight, the bark is beautiful, the fruit or nuts or whatever comes off of that tree is just strong, hearty, and delicious, and the herbs are healing. Why? Because it has evolved and it has gotten so strong. All of our olive trees come from the tree like the one I'm talking about, a 2,500-year-old tree, a tree that's over $250 million worth of cost, okay, to literally bring you the best in antioxidants and enzymes and healing things in the body. So again, we're talking about antioxidants built up in these formulas, these nano-sized formulas that we have that literally go against viruses, germs, and bacteria. And this one, the the Belage has actually been proven with white paper to actually wipe out cancer, AIDS, and in a recent test within the last year, it literally, just before COVID hit, it was proven that this formula assisted the body, the immune system, in increasing its vitality for over 60, 63%, and sometimes even more, so that the immune system was able to do what? Actually stop the forward movement of all viruses. The body was actually able to get all viruses under control, to reverse, recover, restore them by doing what? Stopping all viruses in its tracks. That's influenza A, that's influenza B, that's gastroenteritis, that's SARS. We're talking about acute respiratory syndrome, which is one of the things that the CoV-2 coronavirus uh, happens to do. It attacks the lungs. It keeps you from getting that oxygen in. That's the way you kill somebody. That's the way you take them out. That's the way animals do. They jump for the jugular. They jump for the throat because they want to cut off the breathing. And in some cases, they'll jump on the back of the animal to wear them down, to tire them down. So that's why the COVID will do what? It will attack, it and other diseases will attack your mitochondria. So it takes away your breath, it wears you down so you don't have the energy, and then it jumps on the kidney. Why the kidney? Because that's what has to fuel or has to actually do the filtering for all the things that go through your body have to go through the kidney. That's why meat eating destroys the kidney. That's why drinking alcohol destroys the kidney. That's why smoking not only destroys the lungs and the liver, but it also destroys what? The kidney. Are you listening to me? We're talking about how to get out of this thing. For those who have just joined, I'm Dr. Franco Taylor. We're talking about a bulletproof vest. The bulletproof vest is a plant-based diet and plant-based supplementation. And we just talked to you about our colon broom. We've talked to you about our inner seven, our Sankey, Quinui, and now we're talking about the Blage, proven to stop and inhibit the growth of all viruses, including SARS, which of course COVID-19, COVID-2, coronavirus are all in the same family. So a virus is a virus is a virus. If it's yellow, if it quacks and has webbed feet, it's a duck. And we're talking about formulas that have been designed to help the body actually heal themselves from the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Okay. So again, what am I saying to you? I'm simply saying that you can't lose with the stuff we use. You need to put on your bulletproof vest. You can get high blood pressure, heart problems under control. You can clear out your arteries. You can clear out your veins. You can clear out your colon. You can literally get your body to where it's healing itself by doing what? Simply putting on a bulletproof vest. And the bulletproof vest is basically eating a plant-based diet and making sure that you get the garbage and poisons and toxins out of the body. Get the waste out, put good things in. Someone once said that you needed to do what? You needed to clean out, then clean up, and then stay clean. You clean out with the Clean Sweep Colon Broom. Again, that's our first formula. The Clean Sweep Colon Broom has 4 different types of all natural fiber in it. It has psyllium, oat straw, slippery elm. These are mucilaginous herbs and fiber that help to bulk up the bowel, help to do a broom. That's why it's called Clean Sweep Colon Broom. It brooms its way through as it goes through, and it pulls all that excess garbage off the walls of your colon, all that mucus off the walls of your colon. You go to the bathroom, and it's so thick when you start wiping, you use a whole roll of paper because it's so pasty and so thick and so gummy. That's because it's loaded with mucus. And that's because your body is so acidic. The colon broom helps to pull all of this off the walls, and you'll have nice, large bowel movements every day, 2 to 3. And I mean, you'll go in there, sit down, you'll fill that thing up, folks. I'm laughing with you, but it's a wonderful feeling to fill it up and come out of there and just feel like you've gotten a new lease on life. That's what the colon broom does for you. Call us 901-425-2273 and say, get me some Clean Sweep now. I need it. And next week, we're probably going to have a few people on to talk to you about their experience with the Clean Sweep, with Right Stuff Health, even with COVID-19. We'll have them on next week to talk to you a little bit about that. But basically, they put on what? Bulletproof vest. What is the bulletproof vest? It is simply a change in lifestyle. It's a change in your diet. It's a change in the way you see and think. In order to get better, you got to do better. In order for things to change, you got to change. And it starts with a change of mind. You got to look at things differently, folks. Don't be deceived. The old folks knew that you didn't take all these antibiotics and so forth. What they would do, and basically they couldn't do much better because the system wouldn't allow them to. African Americans at that time weren't allowed to go to hospitals and so forth. So you had to take care of yourself at home. But guess what? They were in better health than the other persuasion of people because they knew how to go out there. First of all, they lived on the ground, from the ground. They all had farms and truck patches. So they literally ate good, hearty vegetables, had all kinds of fruits, berries, blackberries, blueberries, elderberries, mulberries. Are y'all listening to me? I remember those. I remember the scuppernong grapes on the back fence. I remember two or three different types of tomatoes, different types of bell peppers, different types of squash, acorn squash, spaghetti squash, yellow squash, crookneck squash. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? We had all these fresh foods that we ate, and we weren't sick. And if they did get a little something happening, they go out to the back fence, pluck up some herbs, bring them back to the house, boil them in water, or maybe put a little alcohol with them, pour them down your throat, and wrap you up in a blanket, sweat you out all night. Next day you got up, went to work, went to the field, went to school, wherever you needed to go, you went there. You didn't stay around all day long doing what? Taking meds for a virus and being drugged out and knocked out. You were well next day and went on about your business because they knew how to clean you out. They knew about a bulletproof vest. Okay. Sometimes they put that bulletproof vest inside of you. But in other words, they had a bulletproof vest against disease. And at that time, we lived longer, hardier, and were stronger than any other people on the planet. But in the last 50, 60, 70 years, something has happened. Now we're at the bottom of the bucket, bottom of the list as it pertains to high blood pressure, diabetes, and so forth. So do something about it. Make a decided change. There's a scripture that I like to give to you folks all the time, and it's Romans 12, 1 and 2. And the scripture is this. I like to sing it because that's how I used to teach my children scriptures, by giving them scripture songs. Romans 12, 1 and 2 goes, I beseech ye therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Romans 12, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. No. Not because I sing so well, but that scripture it's everything rolled into a ball. It says, don't be conformed to the world. That means if the world is running down to Captain D's, Mickey D's, Win D's, one of these, some of these, all of these, maybe you need to turn around and go back home and fix you a sack lunch. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Because all the folks eating at those places are sick. You got to change your mind. And it says, don't be conformed to the world, but be ye transformed, be ye changed. You go through a metamorphosis. That old worm and caterpillar becomes a butterfly by doing what? Changing your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what we're doing here at Right Stuff Health. We're teaching you how to change your mind. So again, you want to change your mind, you want to get some good stuff, some right stuff, call me, Dr. Franco Taylor, 901-425-2273, and let's find out how to get you on a program to change your life around. Get the formulas that you need, get the information that you need. Tell some more people about us. To meet us here next Tuesday, every Tuesday morning from 7 to 8 here on WMPR 90.1 FM. And as I always say, I love you folks. Until next week, same time, same station, you use the right stuff. And until then, I'll just simply say, I love you.